Okay, welcome to the next session in this series. In the previous session, we ended with this set of questions, right? So now here, we're going to continue with question number 14. So the first question says, write this number correct to three significant figures. So three significant figures from the left, 1, 2, 3. So it will be 7 point, let's write it down, 7.30713. So let's count the significant figures, 1, 2, 3. So we are supposed to end right here. But then the number after the third significant figure is greater than 5, which is 7, right? So when we round, we need to add 1 here. So you're going to have 7.31, right? So 7.31. So our final answer is this. And then if you count it, we have 3, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 significant figures. 3 is F. Okay, let's move on to question number 15. It says, which of the following is an illustration of the inequality -5 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0 on the number line? So what this means is -5 is inclusive. Why? Because the sign here is less than or equal to. Anytime you see less than or equal to, it means that number is inclusive. And then when you see less than without the equal to sign, it means that number is non-inclusive. Now, on the number line, how do we represent inclusive and non-inclusive? So when you have a number line like this, inclusive means you have a shaded circle. You have a shaded circle. Sorry. Let's write it down. Now what? A shaded circle. Shaded circle. But then non-inclusive means our circle is not shaded, right? This is non-inclusive. This is non-inclusive. Non-inclusive means it is not shaded, and then inclusive means it is shaded. So now on our question, we have -5 to be inclusive. So if you write it down, -5 would have to be shaded just like we have right here. And then our zero would be non-inclusive, right? And then our x values will be right here. Our x values will be right here from -5 to 0. And here, -5 is inclusive and 0 is non-inclusive, right? Okay, so let's go to our options and see which is correct. A, when we look at it, -5 is not shaded, so this cannot be correct. We know that -5 is inclusive, so it's supposed to be shaded. So this is A is not acceptable. Now let's go to B. Let's go to B. B also, -5 is not shaded, so this is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. Let's move on to C. C, we have -5 to be included. Okay, we've gotten something. Okay, that's correct. Now let's check 0. 0 is not supposed to be shaded. It's not supposed to be shaded, so this is also not correct because 0 is non-inclusive. Our circle is not supposed to be shaded, so this is also wrong. So our final option, which is probably the answer, we have -5 to be shaded and 0 to be non-shaded. So this is our answer as we have it right here. So the answer is D. Well, the answer is D. Right. Let's move on to the next set of questions. Question number 16 says, express 0.415 as a fraction in its lowest term. Okay, so we just need to express this as a fraction, right? Very, very easy. So we have 0.415. Now, to change this into fraction, we can do can just remove this decimal and then we divide by the units. Like, so we have tenth, we have hundredth, we have thousandth, right, and so on and so forth. So how do we find which is which, right? How do you find which is which? So when we go from the left to the right, you have tenth, hundredth, and thousandth, right? So that will be 415 over 1000, because you have tenth, hundredth, and then what? Thousandth. So let's do that. That will be 415 divided by 1000. So when we break this down, 5 goes here, 83, and 5 goes here, 200. So you have 83 over 200. 83 over 200, and that is our answer. That is our answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 17. It says simplify this expression. So we can easily also just put this into a calculator, but because we are doing this step by step, let's do that so you can understand the process, right? So as we mentioned earlier, this line here is a division line, so you can just change it to the sign division, right? And then we put this in brackets, right? And then we also need to change the mixed fractions into improper fractions. Okay, so let's do that. So we have one whole number, 1 over 3, then times 2 over 3. Okay, let me move this bracket. So let's move this bracket. So we have 1 over 3. Then we have the division sign I mentioned earlier. And we put this also in another bracket, divided by 1 over 2. Right? So this expression is not this expression. So what we need to do is now change the mixed fractions into improper fractions, and also we change this into multiplication. And that is done by just flipping the improper fraction upside down. So after we change this into an improper fraction, we flip it upside down, right? So let's do that. So we're going to have 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So 4 over 3 times 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 4 divided by 2 plus 1 over 2, because we multiply 2 times 1 plus 1, right? 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 plus 1, that is where we get this 1. So this is our simplification. So let's write down that. So we're going to have 4 over 3 times 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 4 divided by 3 over 2. So as we mentioned, we need to change this into a multiplication sign. So how do we do that? We just flip this upside down. Okay, so let's do that right here. Let's do that. So we are going to have times 2 over 3. We got that right. So now let's simplify. So we have 4 by 2 is 8 over 3 by 3, 9, divided by 1 by 2 is 2, and then 4 by 3 is 12, right? So let's write that down. We have 8 divided by 9 divided by 2 over 12. So if we change this into multiplication sign, what do? We flip this right here. So if we do that, we're going to have 8 over 9 times 12 over 2, and then we cancel out. This is 4, 3 goes here, 3, and goes here, 4. That will be what? 4 by 4 16 and 16 over 3, right? So let's do that. Let's do that. 8 over 9 by 12 over 2. So 2 go here once and go here 4. 3 cancels out here, 3 and goes here 4. So our answer is 4 times 4 over 3, right? So that will be 16 over 3. Cool. Let's write it down. 16 over 3. Now we need to change this. As you can see over here, the answer is not in, it's in like mixed fraction form. This answer is not correct because it can't be this. And then here is in mixed fraction, here is in mixed fraction, here is mixed fraction. So we need to change this into mixed fraction. So how do we do that? How many times does 3 go into 16? That is 5. And then that's 5 times, right? 3 goes into 16 5 times, remainder 1 over 3. So that is how we change to mixed fraction. We divide it, then the whole number we get, that will be our whole number, and then the remainder will be the numerator, then divided by 3, which is the numerator, right? So let's write that down. So it's equal to 3 goes into 16 5, remainder 1. So 5 whole number, the remainder is 1 over 3. So this is our answer. This is our answer. Okay, let's move on to the next set of questions. It says correct this expression to 3 significant figures, and on the machine that 3 significant figures will be, you start counting from the first number here, the first number we have here, which is 3. So we count from 3, then towards the right, right? So this is 1, 2, 3. So we need to stop right here. We need to stop here. So let's write it down. We have 0.3007. Oh no, sorry. So we have 0.003007. So we need to start counting from the first number here, because these ones are not significant. The zeros after the decimal point before any number comes, they are not significant. So this is the first significant number. But they said 3 significant figures, so we start counting from here, right? So here will be 1, 2, 3. So we stop right here. But then the number after the last significant figure we're looking for is greater than 5. So we need to round it. We need to round it and add 1 here, right? So what are we going to get? 301. 0.00301. This is our answer. 0.00301. This is our answer. So let's see, do we have it here? Yes, we have it right here. We have it right here, which is B, right? B is our answer, B. Now, question 19 says, write 0.00316 by 10 to the power negative 7 in the standard form. And we know that in the standard form, we need to have 8 times 10 to the power something, B, right? And A cannot be equal to 0. A cannot be equal to 0. So this is not a standard form. This written form here is not a standard form. So the decimal place needs to be in front of the first significant figure, right? So let's write that down. So we have 0.000316 times 10 to the power negative 7. Now, what is the first significant number? 3. So let's put the decimal there. But before we move the decimal there, we need to count how many units we have. We have tenth, hundredth, a thousandth, and then you have 10,000th, right? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And as I mentioned before, when you are going towards the right, we are counting, you know, the decimal towards the right, the exponent to be what? A negative. So when we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we're going to have -4, right? And the decimal will be right here. So we're going to have 3.16 times 10 to the power -4. Then let's not forget we still have times 10 to the power -7 times 10 to the power -7. Okay, so let's write that down. 3.16 times 10 to the power -4 times 10 to the power -7. So when we do that, what do we do? When we do this, since we have two terms here that have the same base, we need to add, and they are multiplying. You need to add their exponents. So what we have is 3.16 times 10 to the power -4 plus -7. -7, right? What will be our answer? 3.16 times 10 to the power -4 plus -7. -4 plus -7 is -11. So -11. This is our answer. Do you have it here? Yes, we have it right here. So that is correct. This is our answer. Okay, I think we have to stop for now. We will see you again in the next session. Bye.